coming up next. Stay tuned to learn more about the state of the art in blockchain and cryptocurrency technology. Reimagine 2020.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another university segment of the Reimagine 2020 Virtual Blockchain Conference. I'm Ashlie Meredith, Head of Education at MouseBelt Blockchain Accelerator, and I'm here with Kathryn Carlisle, Senior Managing Director of the Blockchain Center for Excellence. That's over at the Sam M. Walton School of Business at the University of Arkansas. And we're here today to get an inside look at some of the blockchain programming you guys have got going on over there. Thank you so much, Kathryn, for joining. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you on and kind of tell our students what you guys have going on, and maybe provide some insight for other departments who are looking to do similar things. And also with the large student audience that we have, kind of tell us how you got into the space and maybe any practical advice or anything like that. So I guess maybe you can tell me what was your background before you got into blockchain, and then how did you get to be the senior managing director of a blockchain center?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have an accounting background, international business focus, and I have just always been drawn to technology personally. And so pretty early on, like 2013, 2014, was also kind of dating a tech nerd, and we followed this Bitcoin thing, bought in a little bit early just to follow the news, have some skin in the game. And that kind of just led to a continual learning. I ended up working in community development and sustainable development for a nonprofit, and started seeing a lot of real tangible use for things like blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. This led me to pursue a master's degree in digital currency from the University of Nicosia, and just had a very transformative educational experience there, where I got really passionate about this. And so started wanting to expand my experience with startups and other companies, and began to consult on my own a little bit with the knowledge I had learned there. And so consulted on my own for a little bit, also worked in areas like data analytics, and ended up moving to Northwest Arkansas, where in May of 2018, they just opened the Blockchain Center of Excellence, and kind of found a perfect fit there with working at a place that is really a hub for being able to, not just start a project and if it ends, if it fails, or that type of scenario. It's a continual kind of revolving door for exciting ideas and partnerships, and that was just very attractive to me. So when the opportunity came, I definitely wanted to join their team.
Yeah, there's definitely a benefit to having an institution around, like the university. I mean, I come from academia. I was a professor, tutor, TA, graduate student for 12 plus years. So there's definitely a benefit of having like this institution that is always there, no matter the people that come in and out, that can kind of have these long-term projects. There's definitely pitfalls, I think, to blockchain adoption at universities because of bureaucracy, and sometimes universities are slow to adopt new tech, but that's definitely one benefit. I wanted to go back a little bit. So you were in nonprofit world. What was the specific use case that you're seeing? What kind of problems were you thinking that blockchain could solve?
Yes. So I worked for a nonprofit called Heifer International. They work towards ending hunger and poverty while caring for the earth in 24 different countries around the world. And kind of a few of us in the finance team really resonated, with what things like Bitcoin stood for, with financial equity and kind of democratizing that access to people. And what we did at Heifer was kind of work to give. We did that mission by giving gifts of maybe like livestock or resources to smallholder farmers. And sometimes those resources include financial resources, and having the ability to do things with microloans or microinsurance, or just giving people, a bank account essentially on their mobile phone is life-changing for a lot of these very entrepreneurial, fast-growing emerging economies that people can't get these traditional infrastructure and services that we have in a more developed region of the world. And so we began looking at those things and started a blockchain initiatives team that kind of worked on different use cases. It's really a heavy research, kind of try to find partnerships, and maybe a few don't pan out, but I think especially the nonprofit and even the university space is a great place to be able to get traction on blockchain use cases, just because right now there is more of like a social element on your return rather than maybe like a solid P&L return for implementing blockchain. It's you're really impacting people's lives, and I think these types of organizations are best set up to do that right now.
Mm-hmm. So maybe the financial investment isn't, or return on implementing blockchain isn't quite as clear or large. I know that a ton of enterprise are looking at it, and in some cases it seems like it's going to be really costly to implement, and how much money is it actually going to save? But the things that blockchain can do have such social good that it really makes sense for universities, nonprofits to start using it. So that's really great for our students to hear, people who want to make a difference and who want to continue to work in academia or want to join the nonprofit space. It seems like no matter where you go, and this is what I see with students who come from all over, it's about what you would expect. Like our community, 60% data scientists, computer scientists, engineers, but the rest of those is all law, communications. So there's just a huge opportunity that if you have domain expertise in blockchain, you can apply it to anything. And then there's going to be spaces opening up, like a blockchain research division of a nonprofit. That's super great. Another thing I think it's great for nonprofits is like transparency and crypto giving. Did your company take crypto donations?
Yes. So in my work with Heifer, we started accepting cryptocurrencies in 2015.
Wow.
You can go on their site now and donate Litecoin, Stellar, Ripple, Bitcoin. That it took really building out kind of internal accounting procedures and policies there, and that's why that background was helpful for me, is because you're setting up different segregation of duties, where do your private keys live, all of this stuff that you don't normally think about with traditional giving. And so that's been part of it. We have a team actually in my role as kind of a blockchain advisor, still working with them. We have a team working on product development for a donation tracker. And that's been really exciting to think about how you can transform donor trust and help nonprofits at the same time. You feel like you're solving this need of connecting this new generation of donors who really rely on database decision making and transparency from nonprofits. And it's been difficult for a lot of nonprofits who have served a completely different generation to just transform overnight to serving new needs for new donors that are so ingrained with how their process has worked for years. And so that's been exciting to kind of almost be a part of this revolution for how people help each other in a more transparent and more efficient and cost-effective way.
Yeah, so maybe I can ask a question about University of Arkansas, and that'll move us on to talking more about the center. But as far as crypto giving is something that I've really advocated for the last 2 years. So you guys started the center in May 2018. That's when I joined blockchain space as well. So the last 2 years, I kind of keep my ear to the ground on all things universities, pretty much know most of the programs that were out there. Actually, you said you got a certificate from Nicosia, and just for anyone watching or listening who might not be familiar, is one of the first blockchain schools out there. So most people probably do know about it, but maybe you could just tell the students watching, do you recommend it, or how was that experience for you?
Yeah, I absolutely recommend it. The University of Nicosia has a free massive open online course, so a free MOOC available for learning about introduction to digital currency. That was the first class I took there, and then you can go on from that class to enter, it's actually a full-blown master's program. So you can earn a master's degree in digital currency from the University of Nicosia. It was the first university to offer such a degree program, and it was started by Andreas Antonopoulos, who is an icon in the Bitcoin and decentralized cryptocurrency space, as being a thought leader. And some of the classes and courses are taught by other experts or Andreas sometimes himself. And so that's what really made it stand out as a program to me. And it's great to be able to get a feel for that workload and what the course is about at first for free. And then you can actually sign on and commit to time and to doing that. And so I definitely recommend that program. But there are so many like free, magnificent resources online also for learning. I think the advantage for having something like a university program not only just provides that credibility to transition between maybe traditional industries and in the startup world, or it provides that credibility, but also real networks and maybe people that you can, meeting in a class every week, you're able to build real connections with people who have shared interests or maybe complementary skills to you. And that's something you can't necessarily find, for free on a YouTube video, right? And so that's what we think we definitely offer as a true, core advantage to having an actual course and class with fellow, people interested in this topic.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about, I kind of made sense to me the incentive to have like the stamp of approval from an accredited university. If people are going to devote that much time, they need some skin in the game, need some investment that they've made. I feel like sometimes people are more likely to take a class if it's paid for, but also when it's at a university, you have that institution, right? You have this thing where there's a professor, there's a mentor, there's people to interact with. So that's great. It just reminded me to ask you about that program as I was going through kind of the blockchain education news that I've been following the last 2 years. So definitely check out that program. Any students watching, we have a presentation on a certificate program at Portland State University that's going to be part of the conference. If anyone wants to check out, that's for anyone, not just matriculated students. Anyone can get a business of blockchain certificate. And then I've got to plug MouseBelt University, my program. We've got 3 classes. It's just 8 weeks of each. I do a leadership class, which is just how to confidently and competently talk about crypto, network, how to throw a conference or hackathon, and just kind of why blockchain is important, and then engineering and business class. And then we have the community of students from like 100 schools in 24 countries. And there's also another great segment I hope people will tune into called Breaking into Blockchain, where we interview about 5 MouseBelt University students who have now gotten jobs in the crypto space at places like Crypto Briefing, The Block, venture capital internships, things like that. So plugging all of those programs. But yeah, to go back a bit, what I've been telling administrators is there's like maybe a handful of schools that do crypto giving, and anytime a school starts to take crypto, it's a huge thing in the news, because in crypto news, at least, like you can really set yourself apart by adopting these things early, and it's been well received, or there's like one person who's really into it and like fighting for it. So I'm just curious if the University of Arkansas takes crypto donations, or if the center does.
We've definitely looked into different things, like how can we diversify, our college's profit, maybe by something like mining or, crypto giving, or whatever that looks like, or even kind of incentivizing things like our annual hackathons or conference, to do it that way with maybe like a type of coin reward. Or I think why that gets difficult maybe in a conversation in a university setting is because you do have so much responsibility to steward money that has been given to you, maybe, by taxpayers of your state, or, donors for your college that have given really generous gifts. And I think because of the volatility and the uncertainty in this space, it's it's really difficult to have a conversation about, responsible stewardship in a practical way when it comes to, holding cryptocurrencies. I think it's possible to build really solid policies around how you handle maybe holding cryptocurrencies, or maybe even exchanging those in a timely manner to just kind of maintain the integrity of the gift. But it's a really exciting idea to think about how you can diversify revenue with things like cryptocurrencies and digital assets.
Yeah, we've been thinking a lot about the potential to run staking pools and nodes, because of you have so many students who are just like want to learn how to do blockchain, and a great way to learn is to actually do it. So have them set up a node and collect block rewards for what, and this would be different kinds of cryptocurrency that are actually able to do that. But yeah, all interesting stuff. So now on the topic of the center, tell me a little more about, you said it was founded 2 years ago. Who kind of started that? What's the mission there? What are you trying to see happen?
So we first kind of got the signal in 2018 to really bring this together in a formal way. Our dean is extremely progressive and a great leader, and has really entrusted this space to us. Our students were spilling out, like over 100 signing up for this hackathon that we had in the fall of 2017. That was just honestly kind of piecemeal together. Like, here, we're just going to give this a shot. Let's throw a blockchain hackathon, see what the reaction is. And it was just overwhelmingly embraced by our student population. And they were so excited. The projects were so amazing, in just like a 24-hour period. And so it really solidified for us the idea of this is something we need to pursue. We had conversations with our corporate partners in the area that were also interested in this technology. They were also investing in it and hiring people and looking at researching systems. And we're lucky enough to partner with the world's largest retailer, Walmart, and other huge Fortune 500 companies like JB Hunt and Tyson Foods that are all actually very active in leading this space. And so we had this perfect storm of student interest and faculty passion for it, as well as corporate partners that also wanted to hire people with these types of skills and knowledge. And so that was when it was really clear that setting up a center or entity within our business school, within our information systems department that was already very strong with our data analytics and being able to provide just that caliber of quality student coming from an information systems background, which is kind of this crossover between tech and business. And so we had just the right space to plant this idea in this center. And so our mission, our vision is really to develop these students and to be a place where we're a premier blockchain application and research center for things really specific, also like maybe supply chain innovation or retail analytics. And we want a balanced approach. We want to do things with public and private and hybrid blockchains. We want to really make sure we're introducing people in a comprehensive way to the different avenues or paths they could take in this industry. So that's kind of why we got started and how we got started. And that's definitely evolved in the last 2 years. We've grown our team and offer 7 different courses right now within the information systems department. You can take undergraduate as well as graduate level courses. We have what's been really popular is our blockchain minor, because it's such a cross-disciplinary topic that we may have students from marketing or finance or information systems that are all interested in this minor, or blockchain concentrations, as well as certificate programs. And so we've been working really hard on building out that content, hiring some of the most incredible minds that I personally think are in this space. Dr. Mary Lassity and Dr. Dan Conway are 2 of our clinical professors and leaders of our blockchain center. And so it's just been a privilege to kind of see this even take form. It's still taking form, over the last year. And that's been really exciting.
Yeah, no, that's the excitement that our students have, right? It's really fun to be part of such an emerging industry and really feel like you are shaping it.
Mhm.
So with the kind of story of how the center got started, you saw a big student interest and that kind of triggered the like, okay, we should do this. I see at most schools, it is all student interest and there's 100-person blockchain clubs and they're teaching their own classes. And like we sponsored UCLA's first ever undergraduate blockchain engineering course, and they had 60 students sign up for it. Like they had to open registration like twice. Yet, you know, we still don't see a lot of the adoption from the university. And it's like, there's a student demand, they're your customers, you know, they're ready to pay for it. You're going to charge them tuition. Like, why aren't you moving some resources around to invest in this more? So I feel like you kind of need three things that you had pointed out, right? Maybe even four, which is to have a center, an actual lab that's going to be an institute, part of the institution, which is faculty passion, you said, right? Student interest and corporate partners. Because right now there's so few professors with any expertise that we really need industry to come in. And I think that there's some friction with university and industry sometimes. I know, at least even from my position as someone who feels like a steward of students, I am very careful to vet any corporate people that we work with and who I allow access to the students, just because, you know, you don't want them to get exploited or anything like that. So I understand it a little bit, but I think it hinders the progress a bit. So you need those three things. And then maybe even a fourth thing, which is cross-campus or interdisciplinary collaboration. And I talk to a lot of campuses that are really fragmented, and they're really vertical. There's not a lot of cross vertical like collaboration on these projects, and blockchain just touches so much of other industries that you need to have like the engineering department and the business department working together.
And I would even add to that the legal department or the law school of wherever you're working. That's kind of been unique for us. It is difficult to, you know, decide on a university level where a center lives. So there has to be a natural fit. And I think that is dependent upon, you know, the context and the culture of what the university is about or what their strengths are. But we have, you know, absolute leaders in each college that have really, they're a part of what we'd call our academic faculty network. We have our Blockchain Center of Excellence staff, but we also, you know, highly collaborate with others in our network at our university. And that's helped us really also bring in students from so many different areas and backgrounds and majors. To when we host a hackathon, we can say, you know, build a diverse team, have somebody, you know, with technical skills, have somebody with, you know, passion for solving business problems, and have somebody with legal knowledge. And it really gives you a product at the end of the day, or like a pitch at the end of the day in the hackathon, where you see the whole picture of you know, something that could, you know, gain a lot of excitement from these corporate partners. And that's what they want to see. You know, they want to see the full idea fleshed out. And so that's what's been fun, is, you know, making those connections and bringing everybody on board, because it's not something that, you know, one area can specifically own. It's open, right? It's meant to be shared. It's open source. So that's the kind of mentality and approach we want to take from an educational perspective when we're considering, you know, a technology that's the ethos. That's what it's about, is making it open.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch non-blockchain companies as they adopt this, and we're not used to collaborating in the way that blockchain kind of necessitates and allows for. So it's exciting to be in the blockchain industry and just see how much people are just willing to work together. It's not competitive, right? So always encouraging more collaboration, more cross-campus, cross-departmental, interdisciplinary stuff going on. So I just have like one more question, and then we can share some final thoughts, especially with any students watching who might be wanting to get into the blockchain space. But this is a pretty global event, and we're just checking in with everyone. And I'm curious a little bit more about what you see in your school and then the region of Arkansas. You know, some campuses it's a really tech focus. I know a school in Australia, the student mentioned to me, yeah, it's actually a lot of law students who are interested on our campus. So it's just cool to see, like, what are the particular interests in your region and at your school?
Yeah, I think we live in a region that is definitely, retail minded, definitely, managerial business skills are critical. But we also, have an entrepreneurial spin in there. So I see, anything from, blockchain for art, NFT startups to, we have a student company that spinned out from our engineering school from participating in our blockchain hackathons the last, 2 or 3 years. And so we definitely have a good mix of engineering and business. We have a lot of legal interests, but it's not so much in the startup space, I guess. That's more of our traditional enterprise route. So there's probably a clear, enterprise path you can take, or an entrepreneurial path you could take if you had those interests in Arkansas specifically. But what's neat about it is Arkansas is a relatively close, business community, technology community, where you have a smaller degree of separation from maybe some really fascinating, influential leaders in the business area or in the blockchain space. And so that's what's kind of unique about working with the University of Arkansas.
Yeah, you're a lot closer to some big, I mean, it's the Walmart, has been in blockchain for a long time too, and is the Sam M. Walton School of Business. So yeah, that's an interesting point. Maybe if anyone's thinking about a move to Arkansas, there's some benefits. So any last words for our students about if they're thinking about getting into blockchain, or maybe something you would have told yourself a few years ago before getting into blockchain?
I would definitely say to really succeed in a professional capacity in this space, you want to have that sweet spot combination of, something you're passionate about, something you can actually do or know about, and something you can make money with, and or sustain a living with, right? And so I think that takes incredible perseverance. You need to find maybe something niche. I found like blockchain technology, and just aggressively pursue learning on that thing. And you need to be confident that that's the future. You need to, have that spark of this could change the world. This is what, I believe we'll end up seeing in the long term. And I think the more you learn about that and just try to become an expert in that thing that you love, that confidently, in yourself, that is gonna, be something that may disrupt an entire industry or, a field. I think that's kind of the thing that was the key differentiator for me, to think, this is worth pursuing with everything. And so that was great for me. If you're a student that wants to learn more, please visit our website, blockchain.uark.edu. That's our center website. You can sign up. We have a virtual, completely free, 100% virtual conference this October. We'll have keynotes like Nick Szabo, Paul Brody from EY, a great mix of leaders in this field and leaders in education, and people working on really interesting startup ideas as well. It's going to be October 1st and 2nd, and we'll have registration up for that really soon. But we'd love for you to just check us out and email us at blockchain@uark.edu if you want to learn more.
Great plug. That event sounds awesome. We'll try to make sure any notes people can find you after they watch this. Thanks again, Kathryn, for joining on. And this has been another university segment of the REIMAGINE 2020 Blockchain Conference. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
I'm gonna
Stay tuned to learn more about the state of blockchain education at major universities all around the world. REIMAGINE 2020.